Welcome to another episode of the Ginger ROAMance. Here, you'll hear anonymous stories from travellers all over the world. Real submissions from real people. Tales of connection, romance, passion, heartbreak, friendship, and love in all its forms. Because every kind of love deserves to be told. This week's episode is called Save Tonight, from Okinawa, Japan. I was living in Okinawa when I met him. A tall, tan, slender, and muscular boy. We were both 19. I remember every detail of our first encounter. Standing on the street outside Gate 2. There was a local festival with live music and tons of people. My girlfriends were already talking to a group of guys. I walked up to join them and we immediately locked eyes. His face, his smile. I saw him and I thought, wow. When my eyes met his, he had the same look. We did that thing where you lock eyes, look away shyly, then lock eyes again. It was like a dreamy 90s rom-com. Slow motion, background music swelling. I'd had boyfriends before him, but none that sparked something in me like this. Our souls and bodies were lightning whenever we were together. Like static electricity. Like a storm building in the distance. Who can explain the thunder and rain? But you know there's something in the air. You know that feeling when something shocks you and all the hair on your body stands on edge? That was us. He only had one more month before he was leaving the island, and we spent every spare moment together, hanging out with friends, going to the beach, hiking to waterfalls, and jumping off the cliffs. Weeks prior to meeting him, I'd had my heart handed to me by what could be called my first love. So when I met him, I was not expecting to fall so quickly and hard. He was a spark of joy and light that brought me back to life. The days were bittersweet, but I took every opportunity I could, with my face stuck on his face. He was lean and tall and muscular, and my God, his body felt amazing next to mine. On top of mine. Under mine. In a car, and on the beach. Not only was the sex amazing, but we would stay up for hours, laughing and telling stories. He was someone that made me laugh till I was crying, and I could tell he got true joy from my laughter. It was magic. On the night before he left, we were at a bar called Fujiyama's, listening to music with all of our friends. The Eagle Eye Cherry song came on, Save Tonight. I swear the entire room shifted. I could feel everyone looking at me, looking at him, looking back to me, looking back to him, and I could feel him looking at me. And I couldn't make eye contact with anyone. My body was buzzing, and I was absolutely heartbroken. It was our last night together, and I didn't want to face that reality. The next day, I took him to the airport. Now this side story matters and must be told. Several years prior, I had been given this interesting brass bracelet by a special platonic friend. He had been given it from a woman from Romania, whose family was escaping oppression, and when they were getting out, it was one of the last things she grabbed. She gave it to him and told him it was meant to be passed along when you meet someone that you have a special connection with. I truly cherished this bracelet, and it became even more sacred after my friend ended his own life the year before. So there I was at the airport. I dropped him off, but I didn't want to stick around. Ripping off the Band-Aid, I suppose. As I was walking back to my car, I was overcome with a need to give him this bracelet. I ran back inside, through the crowd, and I caught him right before he was going through security. With tears in my eyes, I quickly told him the story. I wrapped the bracelet around his wrist and told him how special our relationship was. That I hoped that one day he would find someone who made him feel the same way, and that he would pass the bracelet along. He emailed me later and said that his trip home was painful and that he was so touched. I was a little heartbroken that we didn't stay connected, but I cannot ever be bitter or sad because it was exactly what I needed in the moment. And it was perfect.
Thanks for listening. Make sure you're following along to keep up to date with weekly stories that will inspire, entertain, and maybe even make you fall in love with the idea of love itself. Got your own romance story and want to be a part of the Ginger Romance community? Check the notes for details on how to submit your own.